Call this meeting to order. Determine there's a quorum present. Commissioner Wardlaw, Commissioner Vasquez, Commissioner Nettleton, Commissioner Flores, and myself, we have a quorum. If y'all don't mind, we had a member of our Valverde County family pass on Friday. Constable Steve Berg passed away on Friday. If y'all don't mind, I'd like to have a moment of silence, please. Thank y'all. Commissioner Wardlaw, if you don't mind, pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank y'all. Approving minutes, we did get some this morning. Motion, Commissioner Nettleton. Second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Citizens' comments, Ms. Fuentes. Ma'am.
Thank you, Judge Owens, and good morning, Commissioners. My name is Sandra Fuentes. I'm co-chair of the board organization. I'm here to address item number, I believe it's 29, concerning a possible mini sports complex that Commissioner Vasquez is moving forward on. Working with the school district, it's always very good to hear when local governmental entities are willing to work with one another. The sports complex has been canceled, I guess, a couple of times. I think it's very good for Commissioner Vasquez to bring this forward. The board organization would love to see a mini sports complex go up. Eventually, we would like to see all three entities, the school district, the county, and the city, work together, possibly pass a bond to get a major sports complex here in Del Rio and Valverde County. So we're in support of that. The other item I wanted to bring up, if there's a possible closed session conversation concerning Moreno Valley, I know that County Attorney Mr. Martinez has mentioned to us that Old Foster Road or Moreno Valley issue needs to go in front of a district judge. We believe that this might possibly be incorrect. We are asking that this be placed as an item agenda for discussion in the next county commissioners meeting. We would like for it to be an evening meeting. We believe strongly that the process is that it needs to be in front of the public to remove Old Foster Road off the list. And I guess that goes also for Pace Mill. So, Judge Owens, if this could be done maybe in the next 2 weeks, a month, placed in the evening for discussion with the public. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Approving monthly report from elected officials. A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries 5-0. You here? This has to be somewhere. Mr. Velado has to be somewhere in at 10 o'clock. So if y'all don't mind, he's the one that has gathered information for us on items 24, 25, and 26. So if y'all don't mind, I'd like to go through those, get through those first. That way, in case he needs to leave, he can. We're going to go to item 24, discussing possible action on purchasing fire hydrants and supplies for Precinct 4 water line funding to come out of available appropriations. In visiting with Douglas last week, we were concerned about fire hydrants in all three of the precincts. The one, the specific position was Vega Verde. we didn't, we had a count, we weren't sure if we had everything we needed to complete that project.
Okay, good morning, Judge, good morning, Commissioners. On this specific water line project, the plans are calling for 10 fire hydrants, and according to a meeting with the city we had yesterday, we do have a requirement to put in every 1,000 feet, and you're okay with it, so you have the 10 fire hydrants that you need.
Yeah, no.
I think you were only missing the valve, but I think you already ordered that.
The what now?
The gate valves. then we
Oh,
got
yeah,
gate
yeah.
valve.
And I pay them for my
Well,
operating.
you've already taken care of that. So precinct 4, as far as we know at this time, is good with fire hydrants, gate valves, and everything else. Okay, did you have anything else?
No, that's it. I mean,
Then no action needs to be taken on item 24. I don't mind, we'll move to item 25, discussion possible action on purchasing fire hydrant supplies for precinct 2 water line funding to come out of available appropriations.
Okay, on precinct 2 water line project, on the plans, there were one single fire hydrant on the loop. And then, we're gonna be missing 12 fire hydrants on that area.
Was that 12 or 11?
I counted 12. I know Ray counted 11, but I counted 12.
Okay, that's fine.
And what I was telling them right now, if they're just, if we're like between 11 and 12, let's make sure that we have enough, that we don't have to be coming back.
Come back, okay.
But with these 12 though, it isn't just the fire hydrant.
It is of the complete fire hydrant assembly, so it's the T that is coming out of the 8-inch to a 6, and then the gate valve, a 6-inch gate valve, and then the line valve that will take you to the fire hydrant and the fire hydrant itself.
Okay, another question is, on the main line, when we put a fire hydrant, he'd had to order a gate valve in the main line every 1,000 feet.
Yes,
So is that gate valve included, or just the fire hydrant?
okay, so we have one quote that Melissa did for everything that we need we're just, according to that, we're just missing one more extra fire hydrant, it's considering the gate valves. And the fire hydrant.
My question is though, that the gate valve, the one that we're putting in, is the 6-inch gate valve that
It's a
goes from
6-inch,
the 8-inch
it's
T
the
to the
6-inch
fire
going
hydrant.
to the fire hydrant, so you're gonna be
But-
missing the other one.
That's my question. So how many more of the 8-inch gate valves are we going to need?
We're gonna need 14.
At a do we have a cost, Carlos?
I have a cost of the 14 bulbs, and I have a cost of the 11 fire hydrants, we're just missing one and the bulbs together.
So the 14 8-inch gate valves, trying to be a little bit more specific, that we're going.
So it's the 14 8-inch gate valves for testing, and then the flanges to connect.
Okay. And then we're missing 12 fire hydrants
Yes,
and, 12 fire hydrant assemblies, which is the T, the gate valve,
yes.
the little cover for the gate valve and all that. And, did we have in there, the 6-inch pipe to go between the
I don't know
pipe?
if it was included in there.
I don't think it was
I didn't get
included.
that as part of the.
And I don't know how far, I'm just trying to come up with a ballpark figure and make sure that there's enough money that we put in this, that way they don't have to come back again and say, oh, we have no shipment.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
if I may, I think the way we need to handle this is that, precinct 2 is needing all this material. They need at least an excavator, a backhoe, and then precinct 1, needs a rock saw.
And,
I think it'd be hard to come with an exact dollar amount.
well, they'd actually have pretty close. So if we can take it, the reason I split each one of them by themselves, that way we're not trying to bubble them all together. I know that Commissioner Vasquez has another item on here for,
A excavator
excavator.
for a
and
broken
backhoe.
down backhoe that went down.
Yeah, so if we can put dollar amounts to this right now, and then we can come back, because you have an item on ARPA. But if I can just put a dollar amount to each one of these, then we can come back and try to figure out what that dollar amount is. Or not figure out what the dollar amount is, figure out where we're gonna get it from. I just wanted to hear if you had a question.
Judge, since we're running on a limited time to meet the deadline on some of these projects, on all 3 of them, period,
Mr. Crowe?
wouldn't it be better if we leave the dollar amount open? If something else comes up that we forgot, and we need it,
and we can't leave it open. We have to put a dollar amount in there, even if it's high.
$1 million or something like that.
Even if the dollar amount's high, but we still need something in there to be able to work towards. And that's how come I'd like to have an idea of how much we're spending before we just throw out a number and then it's not enough. That'll work. Carl,
If I may,
please, man.
for precinct 2, on those fire hydrants, this is just a comment for consideration, that could the county install, could the county come back at a later date and put those fire hydrants in? Because that would be an eligible expenditure from a subsequent grant for that particular Colonia area out there to provide for fire protection. So that, I'm just saying it could be an eligible expenditure down the road with a subsequent application and not put any more burden on the county.
No, and that's a good point. The problem that I have with that though is, Carl, is that we keep asking the city, we're gonna come back and do this, we're gonna come back and do this, and at some point they're gonna tell us, hell, y'all ain't come back and done anything yet. Okay, my concern is also, it's a lot easier to put the fire hydrant in as we're going
Then
than to have to try to come back and try to install some type of T in there to put the fire hydrant in later on.
Just a suggestion, Judge. I mean, you can leave that area open. That's what we've been doing and then coming back and putting those fire hydrants. But, I mean,
No,
that's just an opinion, you know. I mean,
The problem with this one is it's also on the loop. Where we didn't have enough fire hydrants is between Paisano and Tierra Blanca. But now we had enough fire hydrants on, and you correct me if I'm wrong. And we had enough fire hydrants put in there for Paisano and for Tierra Blanca, but the majority of this water line is on Loop 79. You know, you're the one installing it. But at the end of the day,
what would be the benefit, Mr. Judge Carl, if we were to go ahead and do it the route that you're suggesting, you know, just giving us an opinion? The saving money, I guess we'd be able to get our money back, is that what you're saying, Mr. Carl?
If you put the fire hydrants in now, no, you could not request that.
No, right, the other route.
Yeah, the only other way it could possibly be done is you could put the T in there now. I don't know if the T's are available or not. You could put the T in there now, and then all you would have to do is come back.
Come back,
And
yeah.
they dig that up, you already got the T there, and you can put the fire hydrant in.
And Judge, on your point with the city, could we reach out to the city and see what,
we could do that. The problem is, and he just said too, we're sort of running out of time. So to me, we need to set the money aside. And if y'all want to go apply for a grant, we go apply for a grant. If the city gives us permission to go do it. But if nothing else, we already have a backup plan that the money's there and we're able to install it. You know, your idea is a good idea. I just don't want to keep putting pressure on the city that we're going to go back, because we also know that we're going to have to go put pumps at some point on this tank there at, Old Hamilton Road in Hamilton, right? So if we can get a dollar amount, together of what this is going to cost, and before we leave this meeting, if we can put a dollar amount for all these, each individual project, and then put a total dollar amount. And if the city wants the fire hydrants in, we already have the money set aside to do it. If the city says, well, go apply for a grant, and then install the fire hydrants if you get the grant. But if you don't get the grant, at least we still have the money set aside to go put in the fire hydrants. Will that work?
sure,
Okay.
Didn't we already set money aside for these programs?
Sir?
Didn't we already set money aside?
We set aside, 322,000 plus another 100, is it 22 or 20? On the 420.
Do we set aside for this?
We set aside money. 422. Well, I get confused between the 20 and the 22. But either way, we set aside $322,000 that would have paid for the extra pipe because the pipe had gone up in order to complete the same amount of linear feet. And then we set aside another $100,000 for equipment and a rock saw and stuff like that. So set a total dollar amount at $422,000. Out of that, we have between $16,000 and $17,000 left. Am I pretty close? Okay, between $16,000 and $17,000 left out of the $422,000. 322 went for pipe and stuff. 100 was set aside for a rock saw that Commissioner, Flores made a motion for, and rock saw and some other equipment for precinct 1. Then the court came back and asked for $30,000 out of that $100,000 for, precinct 4. We did move about $30,000 over that. So between the rock saw, sand, $30,000 to Commissioner Flores, out of that $100,000, there is between $16,000 and $17,000 left. And I think Commissioner Vasquez has an item on the agenda probably wanting that $16,000. I don't know if that's gonna be enough to do what he wants to do.
Well, I guess once we get to that, and Judge, yeah, I'm gonna need a.
Let me do this. Can we handle both of them at the same time? I mean, it's like, there's a lot going on.
Judge, I'd like to make a comment concerning this water projects. We've been doing them for years. They got kind of hard on us on this one due to the COVID and all that. Everything went up in material and you name it. But let's not forget that water is a commodity that's worth more than gold or oil. It gives life to living creatures, especially us human beings. We can't put a dollar amount on providing the service to the people that need it. The water in Escondido State is sulfur water, not drinkable. I mean, it's not good for anything, just for cattle or livestock. So let's keep that in mind. I mean, I would never put a dollar amount on this, you know. This is how much you got, and if you can make it, fine. If not, forget about it.
Well, I agree. The only problem is that we're sitting here as government, so we're gonna be as transparent as possible, and we'll just throw all the numbers out. That work? We're gonna do item 25 and 28 sort of together. That way we can figure out what the dollar amounts are. Item 28, discussion possible action for approval to rent a backhoe and excavator for precinct 2 water line utilizing ARPA budget account set aside for water line projects. This project has between 16, 17,000 set aside or still left in that deal. I don't know the exact dollar amount. Didn't look it up, sorry. Commissioner Vasquez, with the 16,000 and change that is there, would that be sufficient for you to be able to rent an excavator to complete your project?
Yes, that would be enough, Judge, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the estimate we got from, John Deere. In case it's, our backhoe's not covered under warranty, we're looking at about $1,900 a month. So they gave us I consider it a hell of a deal on an excavator, good sized excavator. Now I was hoping, Judge, at the same time, I would need a backhoe. Now they don't have one that they could, the first thing I tried is a loaner. They don't have one available, period, you know.
Do we have an estimate on the backhoe?
I do not. No.
Can we approach CAT on that, Commissioner?
I'll look at our options and see what,
Well, my deal is though that
for what you
I
asked,
don't
Judge,
want-
yeah, we have enough money for the excavator at this
Okay.
point. We have enough money there.
okay, but you're still gonna need money for
I was hoping, Judge, about renting a backhoe.
Well, let's do this. Give us a price on a backhoe. If you'll just call somebody, even if you'll just call, Baker just to get an idea what this is gonna cost. That, you'll be okay with that?
Yeah,
And
that'd
what
be
we'll do
great.
is we'll wait for item 28, bring it back today, right now.
And Judge, if, of course, if John Deere, our, new backhoe comes back into service, we'd return the rental and, get our backhoe back.
Do you have a dollar amount for item 25, more or less?
So we have an estimate of 77,986 plus 6 pipes of 6 inches. I don't have a dollar for that.
Plus what?
6 pipes, 6 inches pipes.
So round it to maybe $80,000,
Probably
$3,000 for the pipe. I mean, that'd be more than enough.
Damn. many joints?
6.
Yeah, you're talking another $3,800. That's a little bit high, but $3,800 would cover it. So 77, 38, yeah, you're talking about 82,
Close to
80,
78.
81,000.
Like 82?
Mhm. And we don't need to take action on these until we get down to the ARPA deal, get down to yours. I just wanted a dollar amount before he leaves, that way we're not asking questions. And he's not there, that way we have somebody to blame. He didn't get it.
You said 82, Mr.
82.
Yeah.
82?
And then, depending on what the tractor comes back at, we'll do that in a minute also. All right. Let's move on to item 26, and we'll discuss the available appropriations later on in the meeting. I just need to come up with some dollar amounts. Discussion possible action to set aside funds from available appropriations for rental equipment, supplies, fire hydrants, and cost of to install pipeline. Bite this off one piece at a time. Fire hydrants, does he need anything?
No, we're
Fire
okay with
hydrants.
that.
The gate valves on the 8-inch pipe, all that?
Yeah, no, we're missing the gate valves for 15 counts on the flanges.
Okay, how many gate valves?
15,
Plus the flanges to put it together.
yes.
Okay, do I have a price on the 15 gate
Yes.
valves?
22,689.
Okay, we're gonna use round numbers. 22.7. Rental equipment. Melissa? I know that there was a concern, and we visited, on Friday or last week, and then we visited again today. Commissioner Wardlaw said he needed something with a little bit more more power. I know we already rented one rock saw, and, looked like it's taking a little bit. The next rock saw that we talked about, and again, I'm just trying to get to some numbers right now. We don't know whether he's gonna need it a week, 2 weeks, or even a month, but there was a price that you got for a month for a bigger rock saw, with a little bit more horsepower and digging depth if we needed it.
Yes, sir. And that total price for a month was $62,480.
I asked her to put that one in there versus trying to get one of the little ones, and then we didn't know. I didn't have a chance, and right now, we didn't have a chance to go look and see how many linear feet we actually already dug and how many feet are actually needed.
Judge,
to
we've
come
got,
up with it.
3/4 of it done right now, and unless we get into that hard rock again, we did 1,690 feet Friday. And, a couple of days before, we were doing 100 feet a day. So it depends on the rock. We might not even need this additional rock saw for a week.
So if we,
Did you want to go with this bigger rock saw, or you want to keep what you have?
Let's keep what we've got and see, and, it all depends on what the rock is. We might be able to finish with this one we've got. I mean,
To-
cause it's cutting like butter right
to
now.
extend that rental for a month, it's $40,662.
Yes, by the week.
Okay, that's 40,000, whatever, but he said by the week.
We need it a week with, additional weeks optional.
I don't have that weekly
Well, let's
rate.
do this. Let's set aside the 40-some-odd thousand dollars, and if you need it the month, you take it the month. If you need it a week, you pay for it a week.
Let's do that, but I feel that we will not need it, but
Well, my deal is, just so we don't keep coming back.
that's right.
Over.
Judge, Commissioner Wardlaw, weren't you planning, having 2 crews?
And
Only
then,
2 rock saws, or?
and then, yes, and then, we would like, to be able to hire extra crews
Okay.
from,
Let's do
precinct
this.
4.
Let's do this. You took care of the fire hydrants. We know it's 22.7. Let's take care of the rental on the rock saw. So we set aside the 40,000,
Okay,
what was it a month?
$40,662.
Okay. Rental saw is done. Rental on the rock saw is done. Now, we were talking about,
Excavator.
you need an excavator.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do we have a price on an excavator?
No, I didn't, I wasn't aware of.
I've got the price on Yellow House, just FYI. The Yellow House, the good size excavator was $1650 a month, you know.
16,000.
No,
16,000.
1,650. They gave us a hell of a deal, you know.
That's cheap.
Yeah, real cheap. Yellow House, they work with you,
Okay.
especially since, you know,
That's a week, a month.
a month.
Oh, shit. I mean, I'm sorry. No, okay, I'm sorry. Sorry. So we're at 40,700, 1650, we're back to 41, 42, 43, 43,000. 43,000, be okay?
Okay, and so we need, overtime.
Okay, let's do rental. Let's do your rental first.
Okay.
All right,
That's all rental.
okay. So, we got 22,700, set aside. Melissa?
Oh, yes.
We got 22,700 on one of them, on the gate valves. Set aside 45 for rental, in case something breaks. Okay. And again, we'll come back and try to figure out where we're getting all this money, but I wanted to do this while Carlos is here, all right? Labor.
Time and a half overtime on, for my whole crew. And then precinct 4 has agreed to send 3 men as an additional crew to work,
Night crew?
no,
Daytime?
for, 5 days or 6 days?
5 days.
5 days for, 3 men from precinct 4.
Okay. If you're getting overtime for one, the problem with Gus's crew is that they're gonna be working in normal hours.
Right.
So it's gonna be regular time.
Is that fair for you?
No, that's fine. I mean, that's fine. Anything over 40, then, time and a half.
So,
but-
3 people.
But the important thing here is, Carl, if you don't mind, the deadlines that we need to meet. I mean, how critical are they, and if we don't meet them, what's gonna happen? I mean,
I guess my comment is, first of all, I just want to say, this has nothing to do with Praslin in China. I don't know another county in Texas that takes on responsibility like Valverde County has. I mean, the capacity that you all demonstrate is just above and beyond, I think, anybody's comprehension. I think what everybody's trying to do here today and in the past is to be diligent and move forward with trying to complete this project within a timeline. Okay. We do have an item on the agenda later on to apply to, the county has a couple more opportunities here to apply for funds within the next 30 to 60 days. And so everybody's working diligently to complete these projects and meet some timelines. So that's our discussion today is, I think, to appropriate these additional resources to meet these timelines.
Okay, and I guess the concern is, we have 2 deadlines. One of them's April 3rd. April 3rd deadline is if we can complete all the 3 water line projects. Our April 3rd deadline is to be able to apply for more funds,
Yes.
right? Our June deadline, to complete these 3 projects, and again, there's 2 timelines. There's 2 deadlines.
Actually, we have 3. Yeah. Because they moved the application deadline for the Colonia construction funds till May the 3rd
Okay, so we have another month.
for the Colonia fund.
Mhm.
For the community development funds, we got till April 3rd, Colonia funds.
Okay, let's do this.
May 3rd, and then at the very.
Carl, when you say, give me a dollar amounts for the April 3rd deadline, which one's that, the 500 or the 1,000? Okay. So the April 3rd deadline is for the $500,000 that we get to apply for, or apply for funds if we're complete. If we're not complete, then, we don't get to apply for the 500.
That's counter correct. You can apply Whether you're finished or not,
Okay,
the state agency will have the final word whether your application is eligible or not.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we have an May 3rd deadline, and that's to apply for the $1 million.
That is correct.
Okay, so that one has changed from the last meeting that we had then?
Yes.
Okay,
We extended the deadline.
okay. So we've got an April 3rd, again, for the 500,000. If we're done, more than likely, we can apply no matter what. And then it'll be up to the state whether they consider it or not, based on whether we're done with the projects we already have.
That is
A
correct.
fair statement. The May 3rd is for the $1 million, same thing. If we're done, not done. They still take into consideration whether you're done with your other projects or not.
Yes.
Okay. Then we have a June something deadline. What's the June something? What's the date on the June
I
deadline?
think it's June 30th.
Okay. So the June 30th deadline is, if we're done with all the projects, because we've already asked for extensions, there is a possibility that we might have to pay back some of the funds because like we spoke on Friday or Thursday, whatever. We broke it down into 3 different projects, San Felipe, Rise, and Vega Verde. So if one of those ain't done, there's a possibility that we could end up having to pay that money back. And hopefully we won't, but if the project's not done, there's a possibility that we could have to pay that money back. And hopefully they'll break it up into 3 projects, because we know that projects on precinct 2 and precinct 4 should be done at the rate that they're moving. So the one that concerns us the most is precinct 1. Is that pretty true?
Pretty much.
I mean, and there's everything else that can change.
Yeah.
Right.
I think at the end of the day, where everybody is progressing forward, I do not see, I mean, all the wheels would have to fall off the wagon and have to pay any money back. I don't see that happening.
But, again, like you told us in a couple other meetings, there's a possibility that we could have to pay back the money if we're not done.
Carl, what is May 3rd? That deadline, that was what?
Well, that was, we talked about that at the last meeting. That was the $1 million opportunity, grant opportunity to apply. We were dividing it up. There was some elements that the county was considering. One was to do the booster station out here at the water tank on Old Hamilton Road, in precinct 2. Another one was to replace a water tank, at Comstock, for the town of Comstock, the Valverde County Water Control Improvement District. Additional extension out on Vega Verde Road, and obviously additional maybe pumps out here at Escondido, or additional water line in Escondido. So each precinct has a need, and it would just be, we try to crunch those numbers with the assistance of Carlos, sir, to create an application that would be successful and competitive at the state level. Again, that application deadline, is May the 3rd.
The thing with Escondido, when you say pump, those pumps will have to be, we're waiting on water on, Quail Trail in order to take pressure tests, because we went out there 2 weeks ago, and there was no water in that water line. So we'll turn on the water, get the pressure tested on Quail Trail to get those numbers back to TSA, TRS?
TRC.
That one. To get all that information back to them, so the pumps that we looked at, that they can go ahead and say if they're good or or draw something else. Those pumps though, at the station that we have now, at the tank that we have, as soon as you cross the railroad tracks, those pumps will have to be installed though, like now. That $1 million that we have, we can't wait to check and see if we're gonna have enough money or we're gonna be able to apply for any funds out of that $1 million for that pump. Those pumps will have to be installed. This court has already set aside money for those pumps. Okay, so the rest of Escondido, we have a study that's going on right now. And again, just to try to be transparent here, there's a study that's going on right now with Escondido to see if there's a need out there. In reality, we're not going to get that study back for the May 3rd deadline. That pretty true?
Well, they're exactly.
Okay, so when we talk about extending more water out of Escondido, how would we do that? Because we're basing it off of a study that we're already paying for.
Well, no, so let's back up here a little bit. The study that's going on out there right now, in fact, they're on the ground this week. There's 3 gentlemen out there. Texas Water Development Board has said that before you do any design, the environmentals need to be clear. So they're doing a biological assessment that's being conducted this week. There's 3 men out there, 3 gentlemen out there working on that. And that's for the Texas Water Development Board. That's that planning grant to extend the service all the way to the end of Escondido, and to serve that entire area. It's a $900,000 planning grant to do the entire environmental assessment. Once the, kind of like the target range, once the environmental assessment is completed and they approve it, they need to do the design on it, okay? So that's a project all by itself. While that is going on concurrently, the county has applied for funds through the Texas Department of Agriculture to do the water plant out there at Escondido and serve Rancho Del Rio. So there's been some subsequent applications going on with another agency to actually put pipe in the ground, okay? So the county would have the choice, if they so desire, when they reapply for a $1 million grant, if they wanted to do a water project in each precinct, they could, or they could elect to do only certain precincts or whatever. But yes, the county would not have to wait on the Texas Water Development Board planning study to do another extension out there in Rising States. You already have that capacity to do that. If you did another 2,000 feet, that little piece would be cleared separately apart from the Texas Water Development Board project.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
It does now. Okay. So, in saying all that, why would we take off and go do something when the system that we have right now does not work?
Well, that's why I said we could.
No, we're gonna put the pumps, but the pumps ain't gonna be enough to extend any more water lines out there. It won't be enough.
Well, depending on the urgency of that, if the county needs to fund that, I understand that. I'm just saying that anything that's done out there is grant eligible. It depends on the urgency and the timeline it needs to be.
No, I guess my concern is on the $1 million, Carl, because if we go out here and we extend more feet onto what we already have, even more feet to the water line other than the 14,000 that we're trying to do right now, if we go to extend anything more, what we have in place today and what we're trying to do with the pumps that we're trying to buy and put in place, it's not enough to extend any more feet. And the reason I'm saying all this right now is you have 3 projects. You have projects in Precinct 2, Precinct 3, and Precinct 4 that would be viable and we can get done without shooting ourselves in the foot again and extending more water lines out in Escondido. And then we go through what we're going through right now that it's not gonna do any good. We're gonna end up burying a water line with no way to service it. So to me, you need another tank up on top of the hill, and you're gonna have to have a dedicated line to that tank. So the line that's already buried going up Cocobolo can't service it because you need a dedicated line to that tank. And the amount of money that you would spend just to get a line from the tank that we have now all the way up there and to put in a tank, they got to make sense. Okay. And until we figure everything else in Escondido, I'll put all the other pieces together. I'd hate to go apply for more funds for anything having to do with Escondido until we can figure out what we have there that's actually working.
Sounds like wisdom to me.
So again, it's up to the court, but we have 3 projects that the court has that we have to get done with all of this what we're talking about now to be able to, like you said, we can apply, but the points that we would get, the state's gonna look at it because we're not done with the other projects. Okay. All right, let's get back to, I'm sorry, we got off. Let's get back to item 26. We're at, 22,700, 45,000. Your people gonna need, you're gonna need money for, overtime. If you'll tell us more or less how many hours, you're gonna work in the afternoon.
8 hours on Saturday. It'll be
And that's
Saturday
it?
only.
On Saturdays only?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Overtime
all right.
for the whole crew.
So, we put on there 4 Saturdays, 6 Saturdays, and what are you looking at?
Yes, sir.
6?
That'll be fine.
Okay. What I'll do is right now, we'll put together some dollar amounts. I didn't pull your paper, I pulled Justice, but I'll go and pull, your paper on salaries. We'll do the 8 hours times 5.5 plus fringe and all that stuff. We'll put a dollar amount together for that one. And then we'll come back when we go to your item on ARPA, and then y'all can figure out.
Judge, let me add something on this one here. I'd be willing to help, Commissioner Warlaw on Saturdays also. I mean, 8 hours.
For your crews?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay,
Excellent.
well, we'll give them something to shoot at. God bless.
Just a reminder for Commissioner Wardlaw that, someone that has this kind of business today in Berry 5 has volunteered for free. It's a company. I know that one of the leaders from Escondido Estates.
Volunteered to do the work.
Yeah, for free, to help out.
Just like you.
I don't know if that's
We've
allowed by
had
the.
an individual wanting to do engineering work out there for free, but that's the only thing that
No, this is actual construction.
no.
I know they talked to you, I don't know if you remember that. I don't know if that county attorney's office.
An individual
allowed
did.
that.
An individual did.
Yeah, he has a company that does that.
Yeah, he volunteered to do engineering work for free. That was what was told to me.
Now, this one is digging trenches and burying pipe.
Okay, well, we got homework before we come back.
Okay, Judge. Also, diesel. We're spending, on one rock side, we're spending 100 gallons of diesel a day, which we're not budgeted for. And, that's every day.
Okay. So is that it?
We need to double up on the diesel.
Okay. That it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll bring all that stuff back. God must have to leave evidently. So, won't take any action on those. We'll come back with some dollar amounts when we get to Gus's ARPA money and everything else, then we'll come up with a dollar amount on that.
I have the rental price for the backhoe from Baker Rental.
Uh-huh.
They have a case 580 that's available here, and it's $2,715 per month. That's what's delivering.
You need it. Been there 2 months.
2 months, yes.
Okay.
We use it less, so we'll turn it back in and hopefully Ms.
Okay. Give me dollar amounts. Try to put all this stuff together before y'all.
I don't anticipate the backhoe being over there more than, I'd say more than 2-3 weeks. Hopefully we'll get it back soon.
Okay, we're gonna come back to all these here in a minute, once we figure out the labor. Juanita's not there? Okay. In my book, when you go to the center, where Peter's at, the center deal that was already on Gus's stuff, I need precinct 1's, the one that's like this on precinct 1, so we can figure his hours. All right, number 7, approving bills for payment. A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye. Voted against. Motion carries 5-0. Item A, discussion possible action to approve the auditor's report. A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 9, discussion possible action on budget adjustments. A, general fund capital expenditures, $70,160.08 to parks building maintenance capital expenditures for front-end loader. We'd actually, talked, last meeting on buying the loader. We just didn't move the money over.
Motion.
Have a motion, Commissioner Wardlaw, second Commissioner Vasquez.
Okay.
All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 10. We didn't get one. No need for discussion, possible action to approve treasurer's report. Item 11. Recognition of Valverde County Veterans Director Adrian Vitella and staff on the great work that they have done. I will tell y'all that, in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I guess we have had several phone calls. We've had them before, but I don't know why in the last 3 or 4 weeks we had several more phone calls. Everybody that, they didn't want me to bring up their names, but they really did want to make sure that, y'all were recognized. So I'm telling y'all, thank y'all so much. Tell Adrian, thank you. I know that he's having issues with his back right now. But thank y'all so much for the work that y'all do, and continue to make us look good. Thank you. But, it's been impressive. I know that we've had 1 or 2 people that have asked to move the buses to certain times, and we really can't do it. But even then, they've come back and said that y'all have done a wonderful job. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank y'all, in open court. And please tell Mr. Vitella, thank you so much. All right. Thank y'all, Matthew. Item 12, update and progress made, in Valverde County. Bobby Long.
Howdy, good morning, thank you. My name is Nicole Cody. I am the community liaison for Western Region for SJRC Texas and Belong. I just wanted to come and give you an update since the last time I visited last fall, because a lot of things have happened. Our agency is the lead provider of implementing a community-based care approach to taking care of our youth in foster care in the 27 counties surrounding Bexar County, and that includes Valverde County. Currently, we have 45 youth in care from Valverde County as of February 2nd of this year. 17 of those kids are placed here in Valverde County. The rest are scattered throughout the region, state of Texas, just wherever we can find an open home for them. As the lead provider of community-based care for this region, our goal is to keep our children in their home community. And like I said, there's only 17 here, and so we are trying very hard to increase our capacity, open more homes, support the ones that we do have, and wrap around these families so that they don't give up, or that they are more willing to take in their kids, especially our kinship families. So what we have that's really strong in the area is grandparents or aunts or uncles who are willing to take in the kiddos, but they need that support. And so that's our initiatives going forward, is to support the ones that we do have, and then wrap around those to make sure that they're successful. And moving our grandparents from a non-licensed home to a licensed home where they get more benefits from the state. The kids get more benefits. And so that's our initiatives. We, going from that approach now, we're not fully state funded like CPS anymore. So CPS removes the child from the home through an investigation, and then we are charged with the case management now, and that's as of October. Commissioner Flores has given us a space to office out of in the community center, which has been a great blessing for us. We were able to get all of our Christmas gifts to our kids out of the office. We've had trainings. We have training scheduled next week for more staff because we are actively hiring. We've doubled our staff size since October. So we have 6 employees down here in Del Rio. Mary Hernandez is one of them. She is a trainer / admin for our VP team, and so she does a lot of wonderful work down here. And she's training 4 new staff next week that are housed out of Valverde County. What else? We have our prevention team is growing. We have a certified parent educator that is open for anybody in the county to use. They do not need to have a legal case against them, and that is to strengthen our families to prevent the removal of children, and that's any in-home parenting classes and education that can be given to any family that is referred to us. Mary, anything else from you then? We are grateful for the space, Commissioner Flores, and we'll keep serving our kiddos and youth and try to reduce that number.
There's been made mention of a children's shelter.
Oh, yes.
Needed?
Oh, yes, definitely. Yes. Very much needed, yes. Yeah, there's nothing between here and San Antonio, so
Well, I just needed for you to say it.
Yes. For the record, a children's shelter is very much needed in Valverde County.
Okay.
Judge, if I may
Yes, sir.
comment on this, I don't know if I can talk about it, that we're looking at maybe getting some, property next door to the community center for a future children's shelter.
Probably
No?
not.
Okay.
Yeah, not on this item. But it's been, somebody heard something.
It is needed though.
Yes, and definitely needed. And the other thing that's needed is that we need to get more involved in our child welfare board and get that rolling, get meetings activated again and meeting regularly. And so that's also our initiative, is to get our child welfare board operating
Okay.
in person again,
You need anything from us?
to push for that child welfare board
Okay.
to meet.
Any questions for her? We good? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna go back to item 11. Mr. Vitella just came in. Mr. Vitella, I told your staff a little while ago, thank y'all so much, and to thank you. You just stay where you're at. No problem. We'd had several phone calls. Every individual that called kept saying, don't mention my name, but you need to do something to recognize him. And I will tell you that you're doing an amazing job, you and your staff. And again, thank you so much. Like I said earlier, I know that we'd had issues with a couple of people wanting the buses to move or the transportation to move in the afternoon, but even one of those individuals called back and after they were being mad and said that you do an amazing job. So again, Mr. Vitella, thank you so much what you do for our veterans, and continue to keep up the good work. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item 13, discussion possible action purchase of land on East Lozoya on Spring. You're smiling, and do I need to be scared?
There's no money for that.
There actually is. It's called lease. It is.
Oh, yeah, only,
There's property, 1.33, or, this is property across the street. He has an appraisal on it, dated 2020 that I'm waiting on, that was appraised at 18,000. That's what he wants for the property, is 18,000. The property's right across the street from us. It backs up to the building that the county had built several years ago. As you can go out there right now, we're already using it for parking, for our county employees. So we needed more room, we need more room for parking. And if we get it, I'd like to build maybe a little roof or something over it. A little roof in order to be able to cover, we have six vehicles sometimes, 6 vehicles all the time, 7 vehicles sometimes that are county vehicles that are parked in the main parking lot that would be moved and have assigned parking spaces. The appraised value, we have to pay appraised value. I'm waiting on an appraisal right now for 18,000. He said he'd take the 18,000. I don't know what the court would want to purchase it. If we do, like we need to set aside 20,000 just in case, we have some money, some different funds for closing. But again, it's up to the
I'll make a
court.
motion to set aside 20,000 out of contingency to purchase the property.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 14, discussion possible action to reschedule July 4th, 2023 Commissioners Court meeting to another date that falls on,
Tuesday.
yes, sir. We have our meeting on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday, July 5th, be fine.
That's your motion?
That's my motion.
Okay. I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, to move it to July 5th. I need a second.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Item 15, I forgot my paperwork at the office on top of my desk. If y'all can table it, table item 15, I'll bring it back up. A motion to table, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries. And note it over here. Item 16, discussion possible action to approve MOU for alert notification. A motion, Commissioner Nettleton.
What is this, Judge?
We used to have we were in partners with, the city, to mass notification.
Okay.
And this one here, they found a better system between Roland and John and everybody. They found a better system, less expensive. And as soon as, David looks at it, and it goes over. All right, I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second.
Second.
Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 17, discussion possible action to approve a proclamation to recognize the contribution and commitment of American Red Cross.
Motion to approve.
I need a second.
Second, Judge.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Vasquez. Tom, will you read it for us? No pressure. You got that was like really bad.
You should have done me first.
I'm already getting blurry-eyed, so. It's all right.
I'll type it smaller next time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
American Red Cross Monthly Month 2023 Proclamation. During American Red Cross Month in March, we celebrate the humanitarian spirit of volunteers and reaffirm our commitment to help ensure no one faces a crisis alone. Caring for one another is at the heart of our community and is exemplified by simple acts of kindness performed by American Red Cross volunteers that provide help and hope in people's most difficult moments, continuing the life-saving legacy of Clara Barton, who founded the organization more than 140 years ago to prevent and alleviate human suffering. Every day, these ordinary individuals lend a helping hand to make extraordinary difference for neighbors in need, whether it's providing emergency shelter, food, and comfort for families displaced by home fires and other disasters, donating life-saving blood for cancer patients, accident victims, and people with sickle cell disease and other life-threatening conditions, supporting military members and veterans, along with their families and caregivers, through the unique challenges of service, using vital skills like first aid and CPR to help others survive medical emergencies, or delivering international humanitarian aid and reconnecting loved ones separated by crises around the world. Their support, volunteerism, and generous donations are critical to our community's resilience. We hereby recognize this month of March in honor of all those who fulfill Clara Barton's noble words, "You must never think of anything except the need and how to meet it," and ask everyone to join in this commitment. Now therefore, I, Judge Lewis Owens, County of Val Verde, Texas, do hereby proclaim March 2023 as American Red Cross Month. I encourage all citizens to support this organization and its noble humanitarian mission. Signed, this first day of March 2023.
All right, and that resolution will be signed by all the members of the court. Thank you so much. Don't leave, I got nothing. All right, item 18. Did we take a vote on that one?
No.
We didn't, did we? Thank you, ma'am. All in favor of item 17, had a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, Commissioner Vasquez. All in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, ma'am. Item 18, discussion possible action approving pay application number 4, final PATMO service order. A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second.
Second.
Commissioner Wardlaw, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 19, discussion possible action approving resolution authorizing submission to the Texas Department of Agriculture for the 2023-2024 CDBG Community Development Fund, $500,000 request for improvements to Alcoa Fuel Plant.
Motion to approve.
A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second.
Second, Judge.
Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 20, discussion possible action approving Texas Infrastructure Supplement Agreement Number 1 with change order for environmental assessment. Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second.
Second.
Commissioner Wardlaw, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 21, discussion possible action approving Dunaway invoice 559,849 in the amount of $2,523.59 for CDBG 7.
Second.
A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 22, discussion possible action approving Dunaway invoice. Motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 23, discussion possible action to schedule final public hearing for CDBG 7219085, Rise Estates, San Felipe Pastures, Vega Verde, Road, March 14th at 5:05 PM, Old County Court at Law. Building address is 207B East Lozoya Street. Post final notice, hearing notice, on courthouse bulletin board and county website.
Motion.
Second motion, Commissioner Wardlaw, second Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries. Item 24, 25, and 26, we will come back to them. Item 27, discussion possible action for approval to authorize purchasing agent to solicit bids and request proposals for repairs for the Dink Wardlaw. Commissioner Wardlaw, what type of repair?
For the shades over the roof, and there's certain doors in there that need repairing. And, the county agent Tommy's here. Could you tell us? Some pictures. Y'all wanna look at?
Oh, no, the wood stuff, I guess what you're talking about is in the halls, or the open pathways between buildings. Yeah, that stuff needs to be gone, and then the doors, I think there were several doors.
Right at the bottom.
Motion to
But
approve.
they just be considerable because it's it's the cross pieces too that.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, we might have even received some insurance money for, nobody's on there right now. We might have also received some insurance money for some of the wood stuff, that goes in the halls, or goes in the breezeways or whatever you wanna call it. Motion to approve, Commissioner Wardlaw, second. Second Commissioner Nettleton. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. I did that backwards, sorry about that. Discussion possible action for approval to rent item 28. Discussion possible action for approval to rent a backhoe and excavator for precinct 2, water line projects, ARPA budget account set aside for water line. There's about $16,000 left in that account. I have a motion to set that aside for the rental of equipment.
Motion to approve, Judge.
Second. I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
Well, it's already there, why are we setting it aside?
Well, because we didn't.
Designated for that, I think is what I meant. Designated
The
for
other, the other things that we had done, Commissioner Vasquez and all this, precinct 2 was never mentioned in that 100,000. All right, precinct, 4 actually came back and got 30,000 out of that 100,000. So now we're specifying where that money's going to go.
Judge, if I may, the motion that I did, I don't know, it's been a while back, it was for precinct 1 and 2. That was the motion.
Okay, well, all right, so
You can still designate it for this particular.
Yeah.
I would go ahead and, we have a motion, I have a second, and now we're perfectly clear. All right? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 29, discussion possible action on a memorandum of understanding between Val Verde, and San Felipe's, Consolidated Independent School District for a park and sports facility located 720 East De La Rosa Street, Del Rio, Texas. It's behind the Del Rio, or beside the Del Rio Middle School.
Yes, sir. Judge, this is a MOU that we received from the, school district. I sat down with Mr. John, so, we're tweaking that MOU a little bit on some changes that we, Mr. John thought that, were needed. So we're going back and forth, and I just want to keep the court and the people updated as to what's going on this
Do
project.
you want to go ahead and get approval, for the county to sign pending the council's review?
Yes, sir, I sure would.
Second.
There's a motion. Motion by Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against?
Judge, I'd like to congratulate Commissioner Vasquez. This is a great project, and, you know, shows unity between the school district and the county, and it's going to benefit the community. Congratulations, Commissioner Vasquez.
Thank you, Commissioner Flores.
I agree. I already gave you the picture, right? Okay. Item 30, discussing possible action on updating the court on traffic counts for Cinegas Road.
Judges, we've been talking back and forth. I think he spoke to Eddie Morales and TxDOT, and supposedly there's no money there, right? For this project?
Well,
Earmarked money.
there's no earmarked money today.
But the traffic count, what is it that was turned into you, 6,000?
I'm gonna pass this out, if you'll give me just a minute. I didn't circle it. Sorry.
Looks like you're earning a paycheck.
I am today. You want one? 6,000, before you get in this, Cinegas, where the city limit signs at, it was 6,200 and, change. 6,227, but this was done in 2018. There is another traffic count, if y'all noticed, last month, I believe, there was a lot of, little black rubber deals going across roads.
Yeah.
All through the county. That traffic count, we won't have those numbers until, later on this year. The traffic count that is there right now, the 6,200 and change, that is as of 2018.
So Judge, is that daily or?
That is yes, sir, I'm sorry. That is a daily traffic count. Now, that doesn't say that it's all going one way, but they're either going or coming. But you got 6,200, vehicles crossing through there. And that's right at the Del Rio city limit sign.
Very busy road. And everything from the industrial park feeds into it. Farley Lane, Frontera Road, Johnson and Pettigan. So, excuse me?
And Moreno Valley.
Everybody. And Ciénegas and Chaparral.
But a
Yes,
lot
ma'am.
of people from Moreno Valley.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Point of order.
I'm sorry. That was
But,
my.
you know, I mean, this is gonna be a very important project. It's gonna open the doors for economic development. I mean, more and more, companies coming in to our community, knowing that we have a new Frontera Road and we're gonna have a new, Ciénegas Road. So,
And I think what we talked about, a week ago or a couple of weeks ago was planning a trip to go to Laredo and use these numbers and explain to them, this is how many miles of road that we have, 1.8, I think is what I saw. 1.8 miles of road, we've already, Commissioner, you've already spent money on a study to see what it would take to fix the road.
Yes,
and
sir.
what is actually there, what it would take to fix the road, and then Carlos is working on what the dollar amount would be in his guesstimate of what it would take to do. And maybe go, what we talked about was going with those numbers and presenting it to TxDOT to see if there's a way, either to get money earmarked, at the state level, or see if there's something that we can apply for.
Judge, we're also, and we already, gone through the process of RFQs. Am I correct, Melissa?
Yes.
So have we done any?
They're not due till the 9th.
Okay, all right. That's it, it was just an update, Judge, on the.
Well,
No action.
and I didn't really realize, I will tell you that when Commissioner Flores asked me to look into it, I didn't realize, traffic. I mean, you go down there and sit there and you look and you sort of count, and, you know, but when you look on that map that was just handed out, when you look at it and take those numbers compared to even, the account going to the road going to Mexico, you're only a couple thousand off, which is pretty
That's a
impressive.
lot of traffic.
Yeah, a lot of traffic. Yes, sir.
Kind of related to this, but not on the agenda, I hope I don't get in trouble here.
We probably will, because he's on it.
You're not an elected official, you're okay.
One's house in order ahead of time. There's so much money out there. There's an opportunity, the deadline is today at 5 o'clock.
So we got time.
Federal funds, but I would encourage the county at some point to come up with a transportation master plan where you have your homework done on prioritize your road, your traffic counts are incorporated in that, just pedestrian traffic, just a whole ball of wax, the way you have that information, you can grab it, apply to text five or apply to federal funds or whatever.
And in going down that route, because we are gonna rely on traffic counts for Senegas Road, the master thoroughfare plan, is something that has been brought back to the court. We've actually visited with John 3 weeks ago or whatever, about trying to get together. I know that they're looking still at a second bridge, and they're looking at other highways or other roads, even with inside the city limits. So the traffic count, and if we do put together a plan, with the city and with the school district, is what Commissioner Nettleton has asked for. If we can all sit down together. And what I told them, I told John, you missed it. We're talking about you.
That's good.
It's all good.
You're leaving some one.
What I did talk about, with John Sheedy was, whether they decide to go, if they move forward, and this is like a touchy subject, but it's all with traffic count. If you'll go back to Senegas area, there's a road for a relief route for a second bridge. And what I told John is that there's two commissioners that we sort of need to do it in pieces, but sort of put it all together. If we could sit down with Commissioner Flores and Commissioner Middleton to be part of a meeting to discuss in Precinct 3 and Precinct 4, how they get the traffic count from Senegas, Frontera Road, and all that, back to wherever they want to cross the river at, and tie all those numbers in. And cutting this short, yes, sir. I think it's a great plan. Commissioner Nettleton already brought it to us, and we'll look into it. All right. We've already sort of laid the groundwork for the city to visit with the city. All right. Thank you, Carl. Item 31, meeting table. Can we get back till I come up with the numbers and I'm sitting here trying to add
I already
them?
got the numbers.
Do you?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay, boy.
Motion to table.
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Bring it back. Okay. Item 32, discussion possible action on expanding the community center to include a refrigeration room and a storage room.
Yes, Judge, I had Carlos, our county engineer, go out there and we measured a small area, 33 by 50. We need more storage room and definitely we need a cold room, for this food distributions. So, this is another project that I'm gonna start working on. And I just wanted to let the court know about it.
You need anything from us?
Money?
But not today.
Tomorrow will be fine.
All right. You know
Judge?
any action?
No action. Judge, I'd like to go to, commissioner's comments. I'd like to make a statement concerning an item.
Let's do this one for item 32, no action needed. It was just an information item. If the court don't mind, we'll go to item 45, Commissioners' comments. Commissioner Flores?
Yes, Judge, this is a concerning item that was put by, Bo Nettleton, the previous meeting concerning a meeting at the Foster Ranch on immigration. This meeting was organized in an area that's part of, precinct 4, and I was not notified about it, so I was really upset. I mean, I was bent out of shape. And I care about all my constituents, Punkville, anywhere, as long as they're precinct 4. I care for all the constituents of Valverde County, period. But my priority are precinct 4. So this meeting was organized, and that's fine. I mean, whatever was done. I'm not gonna go into details, but by the comments that I made, if I offended anybody, any rancher, any resident from the Punkville area, I would like for them to accept my apologies. My intention were never to offend anybody, but sometimes we just lose it, right? Right?
We
Do you agree with that?
I agree.
Okay. Good. Short and simple, and my most humble apologies for offending anybody.
I think the sheriff.
Yes, sir.
So just to bring to light how this,
Ken, you speak?
We don't have an item on the agenda, that's Commissioner's comment. So,
okay, so can I speak on that side of the Commissioner's comment also?
no,
Oh, okay.
Then we do public comment.
go back to citizens' comment,
Yeah.
if the judge wants
Do
to
it.
open it up to that.
We wanna, as long as it's good, Sheriff. We're gonna go back to item 5, citizens' comments.
So just so the court is fully aware that, this meeting was not, we had some people, citizens, some ranchers from throughout the county. We met at my office concerning some of the immigration issues. I listened to them, and I decided to have a meeting out west because I wanted to physically see what the problems were, and listen to them. So, in my opinion, Commissioner Nettleton was not there as a commissioner. He was there as a landowner. But that I was trying to find out, because those, at the end of the day, all those are my citizens also, and I want to know what's going on with them. And, this wasn't intended it was so that I wanted to see what the issues were out in that area, so we can figure out a way on how to address them. But it was not intended, to, cause all this great concern and in my opinion, the commissioner was not there representing as a commissioner, but as a landowner.
But, Sheriff, and if I may, under Commissioner's comments,
We'll go back and
he
forth.
still is a commissioner, period. I own property in Lantry, and I wasn't there.
Yeah. Well,
But anyhow, I don't know if this was at a private level or public level, the meeting, because I didn't know about it. If I would've known about it, I would've been there.
yeah, so,
I'm a rancher, I own cattle.
Yeah.
And I know what these people go through, because I witness it every day,
okay.
every day.
So this, I mean, I told, just an individual to get some people together. I wasn't in charge of getting the people together. I was just there to listen to their concerns so we can address the issues.
Yes, sir.
At that meeting.
Are we still in citizens' comments?
No, we were out. We went out as soon as he left.
I should have tripped him and gotten to the mic.
David,
And you started to
can
get
I
up.
accept his apology? Can I accept his apology publicly?
Under Commissioner's comments, of course.
I'll accept your apology.
Sure. Anybody else under Commissioner's comments? Okay. Commissioner Flores, it takes a lot to say what you said, and I appreciate it. For whatever that's worth, I appreciate it. Because,
Well, there's more that I wanted to say, but
oh, no,
I'm just gonna-
I appreciate what you said. Okay?
And so do I, guess, Commissioner Flores, I appreciate that.
All right. We're gonna move on. We'll jump back and forth, we're gonna move on. And I'm not trying to be mean.
It has nothing to do with that, since you had opened it. It had nothing to do with that.
Item 33. Item 33, discussion possible action regarding an amendment agreement between Val Verde County and Democracy Live, Inc. for the purpose of providing fully compliant UOCA VA, Move Act services through Omni Ballot online to qualified Val Verde County voters and approve the annual fee of $4,500, which is proposed to be paid from county clerk's computer maintenance budget and authorize county judge to sign.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 34, discussion possible action on changing titles for Stephen Garza from Tech 2 to Tech 3, which with no change in pay. Also to change title for Valerie Levry from Tech 1 to Tech 2 with no change in pay.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 35, approval, requested for hotel overage at Houston Livestock Show and Auction, an Austin Livestock Show. Mr. you.
Yes, I am requesting to spend more money for the Houston show because all the room rates go up extremely high. The current one I booked is a very cheap hotel, an extended stay, and it's usually around $99, and now it's $247. And that's one of the cheapest ones there. The problem with Houston is you can't get a parking pass, so I tried to do my best to stay within walking distance or the metro, and all the hotels are $300
What do you need
or
for
$400.
Austin?
Sir?
What do you need for Austin?
Austin is $224 plus tax.
But we set a level of three
What's our limit? Our limit was.
150 is what,
Yeah, here.
How many rooms are you talking about?
my room.
Oh, just one room?
I make a motion to approve,
4 days
authorize
at Houston and 3 days at Austin.
up to $250 a night per room.
Okay, but, when you say 250, it's 247 plus taxes.
Oh, well, okay,
Yeah.
so 270,
Uh,
280.
Right, you just price
I don't know
out
what
the hotel,
taxes
whatever
are.
the taxes are, decide in there. We're fine.
Okay, have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second. Commissioner Wardlaw, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 36, discuss some possible action to release agreement between Val Verde County and the Rotary of Del Rio on behalf of Eddie Amezcua. This is for the rodeo. Did you know? Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second. Second. Commissioner Wardlaw, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 37, discussion possible action to release agreement between Val Verde County and ABO Youth Football League on behalf of Greg Martinez. Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioners, who second? Nobody. Second. Commissioner Wardlaw, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Discussion possible action on allowing Jay Gonzalez to use the county stage for an event held on May 27th, 2023 at Romanelli Park. We don't have a fee, set up. I don't know if this is with, the city or not. I know that with the city, we've let them use it in the past at no charge. And we actually have an item, I think, here later on. I don't know whether this is an event through the city because they rent the facility or,
The city, we just loaned it, right, Judge?
yes, sir. And I don't know how this event is, so, I don't know. Or you can come up with, to approve?
Got Medea's on there.
Sir?
Medea.
Okay.
She's like that.
He's on Zoom.
So what is
Second
that?
that.
You second it. I already have a motion. I have a motion to approve. Is that it? What'd you say?
Motion to approve.
Yeah. I have a motion to approve, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? None. Discussion and possible action to allowing Del Rio Bay Booth Baseball, Ray Torres, the use of the fairgrounds field located inside the
Check
chapter.
approve and allow them
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, do I have a second?
For discussion, Judge.
I have a second, Commissioner Vasquez, yes, sir, Commissioner Wardlaw?
Yes, there's a problem with it, in conflict with the horses and the ball players out there in the afternoons. I don't know how I did call you, Judge, about this. And I want to know what you suggest.
Well, and I think that conversation, these people have always, we've had them out there ever since I was out there in 2011.
What, the horses or the ball players?
Both. In the middle of the track? In the middle of the track?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Been there a long time.
We've had them in the middle of the track, and then we've had like 3 other teams, like when you first come in over to the left. In the conversation that I had with Commissioner Wardlaw, put it on the agenda, that way the court can make a decision, that way there's enough heat for everybody.
So what's your opinion, Commissioner Wardlaw? I mean,
Something needs to be worked out.
is it a
like
safety
certain-
issue or?
It's safety, that's the problem, it's safety.
I think we need to table it then and bring it back,
Well,
I have a motion and I have a second.
okay, can we discuss this, Judge?
Yes, sir. we can
Okay,
discuss.
so if we go, say, to a time limit, like play baseball till 6 o'clock and then ride the horses.
Yeah, but they don't get there till 6. Those kids get out of school and time they get there at 6 o'clock. I'm not gonna throw the kids out.
Let's do this. Let's go down one road, and then if we need to come back, go down another road, and then we can table. Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton. Does Commissioner Vasquez keep a second?
I'd like to get more discussion on it, Judge. See if we can work something out between, the horses and the kids, come to some type of agreement, Definitely don't wanna push the kids, out of there or anything, close to that, but I think, we need to discuss it a little bit more, try to, come to a solution between both parties.
Why don't we ask Babe Ruth to come up with a solution, Judge?
She's on the, Mireya. Hello? There we go. Mireya, can you call Mr. Torres to check and see if he could come up with a timeline? When's he wanting to use it?
When is he wanting to use it?
Yes, like starting when?
As soon as possible. He actually wanted to start Monday, yesterday.
And is that every day, Media?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, so what about the horse trainers? What are their desires? When do they want to use it?
Well, a lot of them have practices in the afternoon, so their times clash.
The same time that they use it in the afternoon, basically both of them want to use it at the same time, the track and the infield.
Yeah.
The track by the horse people and the infield by, okay.
And who of the horse people use it?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Which of the horse group uses the infield at that time?
It's a group of young ladies that use it in the afternoon.
And so, Media,
And the problem, I'm sorry, go ahead.
is this a safety issue, Media?
Yes,
Safety for the horses, safety for the players?
yes. And also it's mostly an issue as well with, not more so the players themselves, but like the families that accompany them. Sometimes they have little ones running around, going into blocked off areas. We had a lot of complaints about that.
You have areas that are blocked off, you said?
Well, especially like during George Paul Memorial, the bull riding event.
During
We
George,
have to block off areas and, we do have little ones running into
okay, well,
areas that are blocked.
during the George Paul Memorial, we've told them in the past, I don't know what y'all are doing now, but in the past, they were not allowed to go out there and practice the week of the George Paul Memorial.
Correct. That's what I'm saying, there's another issue.
Well, that's
I
not,
have
that's,
as well.
that's never been an issue, because in the past, they were told they could not use the infield that week before the George Paul Memorial because everybody was setting up. That's a simple
Yes.
fix.
Do we have another
They still
location?
use the field right towards the entrance though, at one field right when you enter.
Yeah.
I think it's just, that, situation there. I've got that property off Johnson Boulevard, Judge, that, there's some areas that are flat that I could clean and provide them an area to practice.
The property there on, going in through Johnson into the county property? Or what are you
Yes.
talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do this. I have a motion, and I had a second. Do you want to keep your second? Take a vote? No?
No.
Okay. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton. I no longer have a second. So, does anybody else come up with something else? Commissioner Flores?
I mean, I've got that land available, Judge, not just for them. I mean, it's big enough that, we could blade it and then next week we would have an area ready for them to practice. Or maybe by the end of this week, you know.
So we have an item, just to be perfectly clear, discussing possible action on allowing Del Rio Babe Ruth baseball to use the fairground fields located inside the track. They will not be allowed to use, there's not a motion to allow them, therefore they will not be allowed to use the fields. Are y'all okay with that?
The field or the property is really not even a field. It's just land inside the racetrack.
Yeah.
So it's not a field. I mean, it's not a field for baseball. They've used it for practice, but, you know, there's been a practice field. Yeah, it's been years. They've been using it for years, but it's a safety issue at the end of the day.
They've used it for practice, but it's not a practice field.
I don't think it's, you know.
We cleaned it off.
Y'all allowed them,
2011,
but-
2012, we allowed them because
Yeah,
they've
but
always been allowed to use it. But again, there's an item on the agenda without going throwing rocks. This court, there was a motion to have it allowed, the second rescinded, and this court is not allowing Babe Ruth to use the grass or the area inside the track.
Due to safety issues, okay?
But they've been allowed to use it in the past.
Well, I mean,
okay, we're gonna move on. Item 40, discussion possible action authorizing Sheriff Joe Frank Martinez to purchase from Dell Technologies 3 computers to be added to the command unit in the amount of $3,069 to be taken out of operating line item. Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second.
Second.
Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 41, discussion possible action requesting Commissioners Court approval to supplement legal secretary Lisette Yamako's salary. The increase to be paid from DA's supplemental fund.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 42, discussion possible action to reactivate the countywide burn ban. Second. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 43, discussion possible action on approval to determine where payment for badges for access to district court should be allocated. What? Juanita?
She's not here today.
Then,
Motion to table to the next meeting.
Second.
all right, I have a motion. I'm sitting there thinking, they're the badges for the doors?
I don't know, this is the first I've heard.
That's the first I heard too, so she didn't,
Wondering why it was on that.
I don't either, because usually we just get Ram or the sheriff to make the badges, whoever makes the badges, and we go on. But either way, I have a motion to table, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Item 4, closed session consultation pursuant to Texas Government Code A 551.071, parentheses 2, attorney-client privilege, B 551.071, parentheses 1, parentheses A, contemplated litigation, C 551.072, regarding the purchase, exchange, lease, and/or value of real property, and possible action in open session thereafter. I've got another one. D, 551.073, regarding a negotiated contract, lease, or value of real property and possible action in open session thereafter. E, 551.076, regarding security device, security audits, and/or security personnel. Y'all will give us the room. We'll take a little 5-minute break and then come back. Court, come back into session. It's 11:15. No action was taken. A lot of talking, but no action. We're gonna go back. Item 15, I tabled it. Y'all don't mind. It was tabled. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it tabled. Item 31.
Judge, what are the numbers that,
What I have so far is precinct, 1, 22,700 plus 45, $67,700 for precinct 1. And then Matt, sorry, 22,700 plus 45,000 was 67,700 plus labor. That one would be for 6 weeks, 8 people, 6 weeks, 6 people, which is a crew, 8 hours a day. Matt, did you have those numbers? I know you were working on them right now. I started to, but you said you'd do it.
Okay, sure.
This is precinct 1.
Precinct 1,
6 people, 6 weeks, 8 hours a day.
okay, 10,171.98.
okay, but,
10,000 what, I'm sorry.
$10,171.
clarify something. 6 days, 10 people, but they're gonna work their regular pay at 40 hours or the week, Monday to Friday, just overtime on.
Precinct 1 will work their normal hours. On Saturday, they're gonna end up getting paid time and a half.
Okay.
Okay. And, they'll work, there's 6 individuals that are in precinct 1 that's the crew. Those 6 individuals work 8 hours a day for 6 days.
Okay.
Okay. And then we'll get to yours in a minute.
Okay.
Let's do one thing at a time. So we're at 900, we're at 77,900 for precinct 1. And then precinct 2, and I don't know how you want to break this down. If on precinct 1, you want to figure the dollar amounts for the crew in precinct 4 that they would help, or just bump it up, just put it all together at the end of it.
I don't know.
Okay, well, let's do this. Let's do precinct 2. Precinct 2, was 77,986. And then another 5,000 for gate valves. That was at 986, to 82,986. But we were concerned, with if there was enough dollars to do the background. Right.
How much money's in Harper right now?
There is, right there, right in front of me. Which one do you want to go over?
Let's do this. Let me finish 2, and then you can go to yours. 2, backhoe rental for a couple months.
And that was what, 1650 is what Elizabeth came up with?
1650 per month.
That was on the excavator?
Oh, that was the excavator.
The excavator.
Okay, so the
But you just
backhoe
called-
rental was 2715.
27.
$2,715 per month.
Let's do 30, 14. We'll add another $5,430. And if you don't need it, you don't need it. You can get it through Yellow.
Right,
House.
Yellow
Through
House,
Yellow House.
right.
So, we are at, $88,416 for precinct 2. Commissioner Nettleton, you asked the question, how much money is left in ARPA?
There's,
I don't have.
Matt, it's, Matt,
I didn't.
well,
No, this one was on top
I
of it.
want a total dollar amount, Judge, on precinct 1 and precinct 2, how much money we need to allocate for this water project. Because you're breaking it down into different figures. And
What I'll do completely right now,
yes, sir.
we're at $77,900 for precinct 1.
Okay.
We're at $88,416 for precinct 2.
Okay.
And I need to add your labor for precinct 4, what that labor would be, to help the 6 weeks with 3 people, 8 hours a day. And Matt has that number.
Total of 48 hours times time and a half.
$5,530.
How much?
$5,530.
I'll put 5,600. I'll give you the total dollar amount right now. 19, 16, 1, 2. Oh, shit. My numbers are correct. You're at $171,916. That's adding $5,600 for precinct 4 to go help precinct 1, 3 people, 8 hours a day for 6 days. And then the dollar amount for Commissioner Flores between gate valves, fire hydrants, and backhoe was $88,416. And then precinct 1 was $22,700 plus $45,000 plus $10,200 for labor was $77,900.
Judge, with those numbers, so I want to make a motion that the ARPA money.
Hold on, let me make sure I added it right.
Okay.
Yeah, you're at 172,000 round dollars.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that to be able to finish the water projects, we need to set aside from ARPA money $175,000. And the remaining money to stay there, not to be used for anything until we finish this water projects.
Okay, the remainder of the money that has not been
Allocated,
okay.
which is $1,400,000
That's what I was trying to get to.
Yes,
That
sir.
way, these other individuals that the court had already voted to have them, to have funds allocated for them, that they could actually go use them.
Yeah.
Not to be froze.
Yes, sir.
So the money would come out of the $1.4 million.
Yes. Is that okay, Matt?
That's fine.
Would that work for you?
Mhm.
I will second.
Motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. Commissioner Nettleton, you had questions? Do you need a paper or?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Motion is to set aside $175,000 out of the $1.4 million, by Commissioner Flores, second by Commissioner Vasquez, in order to be able to.
Now, you did say to complete. So there'll be no more additional funds needed.
Well, that,
No, my motion is to set aside $175,000 to finish this water projects, and the remaining money from ARPA to stay there, not to be touched until we finish this water projects.
I understand that, but I'm saying the $175,000 you said to complete. So that means there's no additional funds that will be needed.
Well, we don't know about that, but for right now, we're gonna set aside $175 for that.
Excuse me, Commissioner, just so I'm clear. So the remaining unappropriated,
Yes, sir, remaining unappropriated. Yes, yes,
There was
correct.
$1.4 million left. Is that correct?
Well, minus the 175.
right, that's correct. And you want to freeze that until all these,
Yes,
until these projects are done,
Yes.
which is, what's the timeframe on that?
yes.
I don't know. We could try to hit the April 3rd deadline, we could try to hit the May 3rd deadline, or we could hit the June something deadline.
Yeah.
The whole thing is though, that the action that he just described, if there's funds still that need to be done for something else and it's emergency, all that has to be done is brought back before the court.
Yeah, no big deal.
And anyway, not to freeze it, not to do it, that money was froze anyway. Yeah. Good. Anything else? I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 4-1. Item 15 was the only one else that I had tabled. Is there anything that I missed? There's nothing else, right? Yeah. We got anything else, David? No, right?
That's it, Judge.
Yeah. I
What
didn't-
numbers is all that on?
What numbers?
175,000.
All those dollars come out of an ARPA money.
Okay.
Item 31.
Item 31.
Yeah. Okay. Item 45, Commissioners' comments. Item 46, Judges' comments. Is that it? Did you want to say something? We're gonna go back to citizens' comments, because I felt bad.
Oh, please don't feel bad. Just a comment, for the court's consideration, I think, what is it you guys call it when they're doing a traffic count? Is that what they call it?
Traffic
I would
count.
suggest that maybe you can do a traffic count over at Old Foster Road, so you can count all the, different entities that use that road. And since Governor Abbott has so much money and he wants to stifle this immigration problem, if you were to improve Old Foster Road and have it a nice paved street, that means Border Patrol, Sheriff Department, DPS, National Guard, and the fire trucks can all drive a lot faster in an improved road to stop the huge influx of immigrants that we are being flooded with. That's my point. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything else? Okay, meeting's adjourned. Thank y'all.